So this was my habit tracker for the month of February.
Sanelli Lasana is working up her healthy habits.
So you see I have exercise, stretching, 8 hours of sleep, which I'm not that good at, journaling, my caffeine consumption, and praying.
Even if you're not about to tumble.
The 24-year-old owns her own business coaching adult gymnastics. To prepare herself for work helping others, she says, she has to help herself.
It's super important because if I'm not good, then my business isn't good. So I definitely make sure I prioritize myself.
Sanelli showed us the app she uses to track her own habits, but licensed clinical social worker Paul Bennett warns not to get trapped by an app.
If you look at an app and you're like, ooh, I failed, or ooh, I didn't get it today. It's about being kind and calm and encouraging with yourself.
Bennett says stress is the biggest reason people fall off their New Year's resolutions before we even hit St. Patrick's Day.
Our brains are very good at developing pathways that get well worn, and so our habits that we have, they tend to dominate. When we get stressed, we tend to fall back on those well-worn pathways.
Bennett suggests two different approaches to building habits. The first is a strategy called temptation bundling. That's doing something you love to do while doing something you maybe don't want to do. For example, binging your favorite TV show while jogging on the treadmill.
When you connect those two things, you connect your wants and your shoulds. We never like to do the shoulds, but we love to do the wants. So if you can connect that, that attaches one pathway with another, and that kind of helps it along.
The next is called habit stacking. That's taking a habit that's already ingrained in you and connecting it with something you want to start doing.
And so that would be something like I brush my teeth, and I'm going to think of 3 good things that happened to me that day. So if one of the goals you had was to develop more gratitude, that would help. And you connect it to something you don't even have to think about each day.
Julie Millay, 10 on your side.
I just never pictured myself achieving those honors, but someone thinks that I did well.
As we sit with Marty Miller on the Marty L. Miller baseball field at Norfolk State University, he reflects on the past that got him to the present.
I've had a lot of surprises in my life.
As a kid born in Danville, Virginia, Miller's dream was to be a Major League Baseball player. Several colleges and universities recruited the athletic honors student, and he decided Norfolk State was the place for him.
I think by the time I arrived here, I had about $10 left, in which I left home with $20. And 7 of those dollars I had to catch the Greyhound bus to get here.
Financial aid helped Marty make Norfolk State his home, and this math major quickly found his footing on the baseball field.
I ended up becoming an All-American. That worked out well. I led the nation in hitting doubles my senior year.
Miller says playing baseball at Norfolk State was one of the greatest experiences of his life. He still dreamed of playing in the major leagues when he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Army during the Vietnam War.
I was in the Air Defense Artillery, in which I was assigned to Fort Bliss in Texas.
He served for nearly 2 years when
they gave me an early out, believe it or not, so I could go to spring training.
Spring training for the Minnesota Twins.
To think that I was there with individuals like Roy Carew. You know, it was a Killebrew, Oliva.
It was a dream come true for Marty, and even though the Twins decided to go in a different direction.
And I said to myself on that day that I accomplished my dream. I actually was a professional baseball player.
In a full circle moment, Miller headed back to Norfolk State, at one point working as director of financial aid, the same office that helped him find his home at the university. He also became the baseball coach, a position he admits he did not want at first.
I had a problem trying to understand why some players couldn't perform at a higher level.
But Miller stuck it out and coached a second season in which the team won the championship.
After that, I started liking it. I started liking it, you know, so this is okay.
He ended up coaching Norfolk State baseball for about 33 years. Multiple championships won, multiple players impacted by his leadership. Behold, Marty Miller's true calling realized.
Everything that I have done here, director of financial aid, I've been the baseball coach, I've been director of athletics, I even taught mathematics one semester. It all centered around helping someone else. And I think that's what I enjoy doing. Even to this day, I'm always trying to find a way to help someone else.
Katie Collette, 10 on your side.
Medical marijuana dispensaries continue to grow in Hampton Roads. Cannabis is the newest dispensary on the peninsula. Inside, anyone with an active medical marijuana card can buy edibles, vapes, tinctures for their medical symptoms.
Our number one goal and mission is to help people find relief.
A dispensary in Hampton is opening its doors to the public. Cannabis, owned by Columbia Care, isn't far from Peninsula Town Center. The location marks the fourth place where people can get their medical marijuana. Back in 2021, Virginia lawmakers legalized marijuana possession, which includes for medicinal use after a doctor has signed off on a prescription.
The medical cannabis program is the only way to acquire safe, legal, tested product and medicine for folks who have a variety of illnesses.
Nika Sebebi, the vice president of public policy at Columbia Care, says cannabis brings accurate labeling and dosing from trained professionals. But the only way to get your hands on their product is to have an active medical card.
Patients need to find a medical provider to write that cannabis certification and confirm that they have an illness and symptoms that would benefit from treatment with medical cannabis.
Once you have a medical card, you are eligible to buy their products.
A lot of folks first think of inhalables and flower-based products. Some of our most popular products are actually tablets, pill forms that are really helpful for insomnia.
Cannabis is looking to add 2 more locations in Hampton Roads pending approval. Abebi hopes Virginia will soon take the next step.
We're all hopeful that Virginia will finally finish the job of legalization and stand up an adult use retail market so that folks can finally purchase products whether or not they're a medical patient.
There are some opponents to medical marijuana use, including some lawmakers who don't want to create any sort of marijuana industry in Virginia. We have more coverage on this debate on WAVY.com. I'm Lauren Moss, 10 on your side.
Flying around in Chopper 10 on a beautiful, warm day. Not too many signs as you kind of glance initially of spring showing up early, but we are starting to see a few signs. You may have had the daffodils start to pop up in your lawn, and if you have some trees like mine, they're already starting to show a few flowers here and there. One of the things we look at in meteorology is the lilacs and the honeysuckles to figure out if spring is coming earlier or if it's a little bit later. Now, we are seeing those start to show some signs of bloom around 3 to 4 weeks early across much of eastern Virginia. And this is something we see about every 5 to 10 years. It happens oftentimes thanks to warmer temperatures in January and February, and that's exactly what we've had in Hampton Roads. We hit 75 on Wednesday in Hampton Roads. In January, temperatures ran about 6 degrees above average for the entire month, and during February, temperatures are running 3 degrees above average for the month. So very warm temperatures, starting to show some of those signs of life in spring a little bit earlier. Now, of course, this does have an impact on you and how you live your life because it means the pollen's going to come back a little bit earlier. Typically, we start to see that increase in pollen as we head into the late February, early March timeframe. Could be a little earlier this time, and typically that peak pollen does last all the way through May. So, with the leaves coming a little earlier, thanks to the warmer temperatures, you may have to deal with the pollen just a little bit longer. Reporting in Chopper 10 with pilot Scott Abbott, I'm meteorologist Ricky Matthews.
A Newport News jury convicted Vernon Green of second-degree murder in the death 3 years ago of police officer Katie Thine. He was represented at trial by attorney Tyrone Johnson, but has now decided to go it alone. However, Green gets what's known as a standby attorney to help him with the legal process.
I'll just let him make his own decision. I'm rolling with whatever he wants.
At trial, Green took the stand and said he and a female passenger were smoking marijuana in the car back in January 2020. Thine and another officer were responding to a call of drug activity. It was in a park near the Monitor-Merrimack Bridge Tunnel. They approached Green's car and asked him to step out, but he refused, and the officers tried to remove him. Green then tried to drive away, but Thine was caught in the car door. She was dragged about a block and died later of her injuries. Ellenson says it's likely Green will ask the judge to set aside the guilty murder verdict because he wasn't trying to kill the officer.
It's just I give suggestions and advice, and then at the end he makes his own decisions. But I think we're probably leaning, at some point it might turn around that I would become his attorney.
Hey, 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 what a beautiful day!
Riding bikes put a song in Mike Shipp's heart.
He's the thread that's in the cycling community. There aren't very many people that can't say that they haven't had either ridden with Mike, bought a bike from Mike, learned something or been on one of his teams.
Ship started out turning wrenches at the old Collie Avenue bike shop while a student at Granby High School. He opened up East Coast Bicycles down the street in 1998.
It's a huge loss. It definitely is.
Ship's work family got a call from his wife around 2 Thursday afternoon.
He went down, his Apple Watch sent out a notification to Aisha that something had happened.
A group of local bicyclists was headed to Florida this weekend for a ride. Ship went down early with his new camper.
He just stopped in South Carolina because it was a really nice day.
According to authorities, a Chevy S10 hit his bike along a highway near the city of Manning.
No matter what the circumstances, we're a very vulnerable group of people on the roads.
Ship was, by all accounts, a very safe rider. He often organized casual community rides that left from his shop, and he raced both on and off-road.
He's going to hate me for saying this, but he is a way better off-road racer than he was on the road. Way better.
His small stature made him quick and nimble. His personality made him an ambassador for biking in Norfolk.
I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go forward. I just don't know.
Patrons are stopping by the shop to share flowers and stories. Mike's old bike now hangs over the register.
Yeah, at least, it happened doing what he loved doing.
And enjoyed sharing with others.
It's riding bicycles time. I hope you're enjoying the day too.
It's the first of its kind in Chesapeake and a playground for all ages and all abilities. We Rock the Spectrum is specially crafted for kids with disabilities. From sensory equipment like this climbing rope, kids can learn and play at the same time. For families who have children with disabilities, it's not always easy to find a safe space.
Every parent wants to see their kid feel happy and safe and just be a kid, and for once put down a little of those barriers or challenges that he has and just excel and play.
Dana Young Askew's son, Drayden, is autistic and has a developmental delay. But inside of We Rock the Spectrum,
this will be a place where he can sort of choose and have a little bit of autonomy over how he moves, and if he's done with something, he can find things that he's interested in.
The gym is filled with all sorts of sensory safe play.
You just find your place to stimulate your senses and have a ball.
And behind all the bright colors is a mission to cater to all children's abilities.
We have a pretty wide assortment of swings. We have something for the babies, something for older children if they just want to lounge around.
Owner Mary Hassel and Whitney Olson say their new gym is a judgment-free zone and a safe space for families.
Their child could have a tantrum and they immediately feel as though they have to apologize. This is not that place. Here, this is a community where we all understand.
While kids are enjoying the gym, the owner set up activities so kids can learn too.
You sit them down in a classroom, their attention span is not that well. They can pay attention for about 15 minutes, and after that, they're just running all over the place. But if you have a place where they're playing and learning at the same time, they don't even realize they're learning.
Today, Drayden got a little early access to the gym, and his mom says he'd rate it
off the charts right now.
I'm Lauren Moss, 10 on your side.
One of my most favorite books is Gone with the Wind.
There's no doubt Jeannie Hunt has a love for words.
My love for reading came about when I was very young. My mother was an avid reader.
Books come in all shapes and sizes, and with more than 275,000 books, customers can find anything they're looking for.
Danielle Steele, paperback or hardback?
Paperback.
Paperback, come on back this way.
Inside Jeannie's store.
No matter what they have on their mind, I have something on the subject. And that's what so many people like about this store.
Jeannie says she was forced to move out of her business because landlord Klein Realty decided to remodel the strip mall on High Street in Portsmouth. But Bob Arnett, who owns Coastal Virginia Management, offered one of his properties for the bookstore, which is located at Portsmouth Boulevard, directly next to Blessed Christian Homeschool.
I came and looked, immediately fell in love with everything.
Kenneth Patterson and his wife are regular customers of Jeannie's, and he wondered if the bookstore was closed for good.
It's been a blessing that she's gotten a new place to open back up at.
His first visit to her new storefront was a success.
And it's amazing when you actually get in here and you look at the amount of books that are here.
And that satisfaction is what motivates Jeannie.
It would have been so easy for me to close the doors years ago. Will this be all?
Plus, Jeannie says the community support was crucial.
If it wasn't for the community, this would not be here right now. There's no way I could have done it by myself.
Her hope for the future? That more kids and teens will walk through her doors and find something that sparks their interest.
Are these mystery books? The young adults coming in and finding their favorite book or their favorite series. That's where the future of the bookstores are going.
Happy Saturday, everyone. I'm Craig Loper. Let's talk some college basketball. Norfolk State begins its final homestand of the season at Joe Eccles Hall today when the Spartans take on Morgan State at 4 o'clock. Spartans right now second place in the MEAC, 1 game back of Howard for first place. Now NSU has won 5 games in a row, and actually its last defeat was a 77-71 setback against Morgan State in Baltimore earlier this year. In that game, Norfolk State didn't make a single three-pointer and just couldn't overcome an early deficit. Coach Robert Jones' team hoping for a different outcome later this afternoon.
Well, I think Morgan, they was a team that we took for granted a little bit because we had tremendous success against them recently. And then we came off a big win against Coppin, and I think our guys were still at Coppin, and then Morgan jumped on us to their credit, and we weren't able to get over the hump. We cut it to 2 points a few times, and we weren't able to get over the hump, and they were able to win the game. And the crowd there was great, so I think the crowd kind of willed them to that victory as well, too. And we didn't make a three-pointer, which is like the first time in over a decade that we didn't make a three-point shot in the game. So hopefully that doesn't happen at Eccles.
And how about Coach Jones, right? And he's in his 10th season as head coach, never had a losing conference record. He's won the 3 MEAC regular season titles, 2 MEAC tournaments. He's won an NCAA tournament game over Appalachian State and an NIT game against Alabama. Before he was head coach, he was an assistant at NSU, of course, recruited Kyle O'Quinn to Norfolk State, who went on to a successful NBA career. So how has Coach Jones sustained so much success?
The answer is always just hard work, good players, and just keep trying to find people to fit our system. I don't think it's like a real big secret or any secret sauce or anything like that. It's just a lot of hard work and just finding guys that fit, your system. I think we've also found a lot of diamonds in the rough, like you said, Kyle O'Quinn, and then you got guys like Joe Bryan and Chris Banks that's on the PIT radar, and things like that, so they're on the NBA cusp as well. And we just try to find guys that just fit our system.
Women's game tips off at 2 o'clock today. The men are scheduled after that. They're going to face South Carolina State on Monday. They close out the regular season with 3 straight road games, and it's the MEAC tournament at Scope. Okay, we're talking high school basketball now. It was a jam-packed Friday night. High school playoffs began around the Commonwealth, and we had dozens of area teams in the regional playoffs. Class 6 boys happening last night in Chesapeake, Grassfield versus Western Branch. Western Branch wearing white in this one. The team huddles are getting fired up. Jamari Jenkins beats the trap. Straight to the basket he goes. And then it's Jamari Parker. He's got this floater down in the lane float game. Bruins won by 13 earlier this season, but last night a different story. Toa Hollenbeck going to CNU next season. Baseline lay-in, good there. Then it's the big fella, John O'Kella, running the floor. Look at his power dribble, lower his shoulder. He lays it in. And Hollenbeck again. Watch him sky up. One-handed slam with authority. Grassfield moves on. Grizzlies over Western Branch last night, 71-67. On the girls' side of things, Class 5, Green Run was facing Kentville. Late first quarter, Kenya Ramsey, short jumper in the lane, can't knock it down. Ariana Davis, rebound, put back is good. Chiefs led 9-3. Early second quarter, Micaiah Bright for the Stallions with a rebound, put back of her own, knocks that shot down. Under 4 in the second quarter, Jaton Jones, ball in transition, lay-in. Chiefs led 16-11 after that. Under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, Kennedy Shipman pass ahead to Chloe Booth. Booth, tough finish under the hoop for her. Chiefs led 21-15. Under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, Ramsey pass ahead to Jones. Watch Jones stop, crossover, finish, and the whistle. The Chiefs won 63-36. Staying in Class 5, Salem against First Colonial. Sun Devils in white. Jocelyn Johnson going to go up, but she can't finish. Amani Johnson, her teammate, no problem, got her back, puts that right back into the rim. Salem led 31-10. Under 2 minutes in the second quarter, Katie Royal, First Colonial, dial that up, lefty three-point deep shot. Salem led by 16 at the half. Sun Devils dominant from start to finish. Breesis Miller with the steal, pass ahead to Anaya Lindo. Salem went on to win 72-33. Back to Chesapeake. Western Branch girls home against Oscar Smith. Bruins wearing white. Addison Carver under the basket. Tough left-hand finish. Gets that to go. But the story of the game was Kamari Mitchell. Look her up. Number 3 for the Bruins. She went off for 43 points, and it was her 6th 40-point game of the season as the Bruins won 70-38. Well, college baseball fans were rejoicing yesterday across the country as the 2023 season began. ODU started things off at home, Bud Matheny Complex against St. John's. It was that kind of night at the ballpark, high winds throughout the evening. Now, ODU was up 4-0 going into the top of the fifth, but allowed 4 runs, so it's a tie game in the bottom of the fifth. Kenny Lavari, RBI single through the right side. Hunter Fitzgerald slides home safe for the 5-4 lead. Top of the sixth, Vincent Bashara, the second pitcher in the game, retired the side. ODU would trail again in the game before Lavari hit a solo home run to tie it up in the bottom of the ninth. But the Monarchs, they do lose in extra innings, 7-6. They'll do game 2 later this afternoon. All right, so I hope you have a great weekend. We're moving on from the NFL and got a lot of local sports coming up this weekend. I'm Craig Loper. We'll see you back here on Monday.